Hey Frank, how you doing? It's James Lavers here from the UK. I just wanted to put together this quick video for you by way of thanks for everything that Mass Control has done for my business. I know you know how cool it is, obviously. There's a small chance that there are people out there, I don't know, maybe they've been on the moon for the last 5 years or something, who don't know how cool Mass Control is. And I thought it was my obligation really to share my results that I've had in my business using Mass Control, putting it to work. I work in a really weird little niche, and I do a thing called distance persuasion, where I sort of teach all these elements of human psychology and how people can use it in their marketing to get more. And up until, well, the first time round that you launched Mass Control, I didn't know about you. I found out about you a couple of months later, and Mass Control was off the market, and I was fortunate enough to buy it from somebody who was selling it, stupid enough to be selling it on eBay. So I bought it that way, kind of like, so I'm like a second cousin to Mass Control, I guess, in terms of customer type. I don't know what bracket I fall into. The kind of person, hopefully wily enough to see when it wasn't available, to find it and grab it. Now, I've got some unbelievable results that I want to share with you. Before I do that though, I want to say I've got a gift here that I'm going to be sending to you that I'll show you at the end of the video, Frank. I think you're going to like it. I really do, especially as you're a child of the 70s, right? So I think you'll appreciate the gift I'm going to be sending to you. It means a great deal to me, and really I want it to be testament to just how much you and your work has meant to my business. So I'm going to be sending this to you in the next few days. But okay, results time. Let me don the obligatory ceremonial Norse headgear of the testimonial giver, and let you know a little bit of the results that I've had. Firstly, in Mass Control you talk about and you lay out the affiliate getting letter, right? It's an absolute genius piece of work. I know you already know that, but there are people out there that just think, how could this letter, why do I need to use that letter? Why can't I just make up my own one? No, you missed the point. You've got to use the affiliate getting letter. I grew my list in 24 hours by like nearly 3,000 new opt-ins, and incredibly qualified as well, just by basically copying, as you gave us permission to, completely ripping off your affiliate getting letter. I didn't send it out as a hard copy, I actually sent it out as an email, Frank, and it got a tremendous response. I had everybody, you know, big in my kind of little space wanting to promote my stuff, glad to, and they did. And my list grew incredibly quickly. I mean, it kind of quintupled my list, which gives you, if you're good at the maths, I got 3,000 new opt-ins. I had like 0 list before that, or very, very small list before then. And so that was really, really good. Brilliant. Immediately just boosted my business. Now some solid financial results. Well, let me go with the most recent. I'm recording this now in October 2009. Last month, September 2009, I did 2 launches, and what was really cool was the storylines that you teach. I kind of infused them throughout my entire launch. You know, as you suggest, I kind of, they're like narrative themes, aren't they? That just like run through your launch, so that it makes more sense to people. The kind of the reason why is taken care of, and I used those storylines, especially the us versus them, used that in a big way. I did a launch at the beginning of September where basically I was positioning my product, this kind of training program that I was doing, I positioned it as kind of versus all those other evil marketers that are trying to sell you how to use Twitter to earn $1 billion in a day. You know, those kind of people that are you know, always trying to sell you the next best thing and make it seem like your business is going to fail if you don't know this marketing technique. And I positioned my stuff against that very much as kind of like us. Us are the people that are kind of like, don't fall for these little scams that are coming into your email inbox every day. It worked like an absolute treat, Frank. And that theme ran throughout my launch, and I think helped sell it out. Absolutely, no doubt. And I just recently did a launch as well where I used a little bit of the Hometown Boy Made Good, because I shared a lot of my story in there. And again, had a really great effect. I'd never done that before. I'd always been nervous to sort of like share my rags to riches story, and I did, and it had a great effect. In terms of monetary, because that's what we like, isn't it? We like the exact money. Well, in my money, I'm working in pounds sterling here, I made nearly £20,000 in a period of about 8.5 days. So your money, let's see, dollars, we're talking roughly 30,000, maybe a little bit in excess of $30,000 inside of 8.5 days. I'd love to be able to say it was 8 days, but it was like a little bit over 8 days, which was great. That's a great month for me. Listen, that's like, you know, I've got, if I carry on going like this, and I've had better months than this year, again, by using your stuff, January this year, I mean, we're meant to be in the middle of a quote-unquote recession here. And you're right, you know, it got me thinking, because I use a lot of my stuff, the stuff that I teach, I actually work with infomercial companies and some huge brands. I've actually used Us Versus Them with Hewlett-Packard selling their products and services on QVC. I work a lot with big brands in alignment with QVC, and basically I work with these big brands so that they get more. That's kind of what I'm known as, but like, I got even more by bolting on some of your techniques, some of your technologies, putting that into what I already do. And it just absolutely worked like gangbusters. Like I said, Hewlett-Packard had this amazing, really quick story. Hewlett-Packard had this amazing touchscreen computer. And I was called in to help them market it, because they'd only made, I mean, they'd made a lot of money by anyone else's standards, but they were live on QVC and it wasn't a lot of money by their standards. I used one Us Versus Them right at the beginning, and what I mean by I used it, I work with the TV presenters and the guests that go on the telly and talk about this stuff, and I tell them to say stuff. I'm like, got a little microphone and I talk into their ears and I tell them to say stuff. I got the show host to say one thing at the beginning about this computer that was in a Us Versus Them kind of theme. 10x. We made like nearly, it was nearly £500,000. That's a lot of dollars, right? A lot of money in 1 hour. It was just incredible. So I've used it not just in my own business, but also in the big, huge billion-dollar brands that I work with. Your stuff works, Frank. I know you know that, but if you know, by hope anybody else ever gets exposed to this video, I want them to know your technology really works, and I just want to thank you for that. Now, I can remove the ceremonial headgear of the Norse warrior, and like I said, you're a child of the 70s like me, Frank, and I think that you're going to appreciate this. You may remember there was a movie in the late 70s that completely changed the playing field. It was like complete, when it comes to like merchandising and the marketing of it, it totally changed. I think more than anything that had come previously, it totally changed the rules for how films were made and marketed. You're probably already ahead of me, right? Star Wars, highest grossing film still, I think, of all time. Gone with the Wind, I don't know. Citizen Kane, there might be some, anyway, big, we know they make a lot of money. And you may remember in that very first film, there's a scene where Alec Guinness has got Luke Skywalker, which is Mark Hamill, the actor. Luke Hamill, that wouldn't have been such a good name, would it? Mark Hamill in his little hut, and he's gone to this chest and he's pulled out this thing and he says, your father wanted you to have this. And just the imagination of an entire generation was captured when Luke Skywalker fires up the lightsaber for the very first time. It's unbelievable. There was a company called Master Replicas that got access, like straight, direct access to that very lightsaber, and they were permitted to create just 1,000 replicas, exact replicas, by the way, worldwide. That was it. So of the 6 billion people on the planet, only 1,000 would ever be able to own one of these things. Well, I'm lucky enough to have one, to own one, and I love it. It's bloody heavy, actually. Very, very nice bit of kit. It doesn't do anything, but you know, after a few beers, I can pretend that it fires up, and you know, if I hallucinate wildly enough, it's like I'm holding it. I would like to send this to you, Frank, by genuine, heartfelt way of saying thank you to you and the way that you've not only changed the my business, but I think you've changed the landscape of marketing online in a huge way, and I thank you for it. I've signed this for you. It says, to Frank, a true Jedi, many thanks, James. And I'm going to be sending this to you by way of saying thanks. And if anyone else ever does watch this video, then check out Frank's stuff. It really does work. You've got to put it to use. I think, you know, you say it yourself, Frank, you know, there really is no point reinventing the wheel. I don't know what that little quirk in human beings is where we think, like, we've got to be unique. I've got to be unique. I've got to do it my way. I think there are times to do it your way, and there are times to see what works and to replicate that. And I was always one of these people that was like, no, I've got to do it my way. And when I started, yeah, sure, there's aspects of what I do that are uniquely mine, but also mirroring and modelling the patterns that work from people that have proven it time and time again, like yourself, Frank. I just want to say thank you. So this finest lightsaber will be winging its way to you. I just want to say thank you very much, and over and out from this Norse Jedi warrior type thing. Anyway, Frank, seriously, thank you very much.